Continue to follow some developing news and a story first brought to you last night. A major water main break in Springfield that's still affecting both that area and the surrounding towns. And just a short time ago, Springfield's Mayor Dominic Sarno providing an update on that situation. Western Mass News reporter Matt Price live in the studio with the latest. Matt, what do we know so far?
Dominic Sarno, a little more than an hour ago, said he will be declaring a state of emergency as a result of this water main break. It was also revealed by the mayor and the Springfield Water and Sewer Commission that pressure has been restored, which is a good sign. However, those in the Springfield area are not out of the woods just yet. To recap how we got here, this 36-inch water main break was found behind the Big Y Tuesday afternoon, a break that happened at around 3:30 p.m. in an area called Abbey Brook. This is what this scene looked like when our Western Mass News crews arrived overnight. According to the Springfield Water and Sewer Commission, the break resulted in a significant drop in water pressure throughout Springfield, as well as Ludlow and parts of Longmeadow and East Longmeadow. Crews had spent the entire rest of Tuesday trying to fix the pipe, and those repairs continuing into today. Springfield Mayor Dominic Sarno saying this morning a boil water advisory that began overnight is still in effect until further notice for Springfield residents, and that the location of the break is dangerous.
The area in question is very unstable where the break is. Erosion, we don't want any of our pipes being compromised anymore, and this has been obviously a huge inconvenience to our residents and business community.
Now, it was believed at least 5 to 10 million gallons of water were lost due to this break. Keep in mind, an average of 30 million gallons of treated water goes through Springfield. Josh Schimmel, the executive director of the Springfield Water and Sewer Commission, spoke at the press conference at City Hall and warned residents about possible contamination.
The boil water order, as we have stated previously, is due to the potential for contamination. That potential is because the loss in water pressure has the possibility of pulling in a negative pressure, pulling contamination into the system.
The break itself was reported by Citizen at around 5 p.m. on Tuesday, and it was again found to be behind the Big Y on St. James Avenue. Now, we want to reiterate the measures that have been taken because of this incident. Springfield Public Schools is closed today, and at the moment, Superintendent Dan Warwick hopes to have the district back open tomorrow. However, a decision could be made by as late as the morning. So both the options of keeping the district closed or reopening it are on the table. Officials have also issued a boil water order in Springfield until further notice. Ludlow is also involved with that, and city officials will continue to monitor the situation and discuss ways they can assist the public. We also want to show some tips that were stated for restaurants in the community that are open today. Those who are serving coffee or soda from machines that are plumbed into tap water are asked to turn those devices off. Also, do not serve ice unless you are certain it was made before 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Do not wash fruits and vegetables with tap water, and instead wash with boiled water. And switch to serving single-serve utensils, as well as do not wash dishes unless the dishwasher is a high-temperature dishwater that reaches 180 degrees Fahrenheit on the final rinse. Now, we also want to show a map very quickly, an interactive map, and this is important. This shows the residential areas affected by the situation. The areas that are in yellow, which are all of Springfield, as well as parts of Ludlow, are the areas affected by the break and hit with a boil water advisory. So that is something that everyone should be keeping in mind, those in those areas, especially all of those in the Springfield area. Stay with Western Mass News for the latest developments as repairs are made. And Schimmel does say that if all goes well with the water testing, the boil water advisory could be lifted as soon as Thursday. Again, for the moment, repairs do remain ongoing, so stick with us both on air and online throughout the day as we try to get more information on the situation. Reporting live in the studio, Matt Price, Western Mass News.